Hi, this is Greg with Laws of Motion Physical Therapy. Today we're going to go over a 10-minute golf routine to do pre-round to help warm up before that first heat. All we're going to do, or all we're going to need, is a golf club, or in this case, a mobility stick, and a couple of smaller loop bands and a longer band. This sort of thing I like to keep in my golf bag, so just place it in and you have it on the course with you that you can do prior to hitting the range or prior to hitting T1. First thing we're going to do is start off with some basic mobility stuff. For this, we're not going to need any of the equipment, but we're going to do an exercise I like to call bottoms up. So in bottoms up, you're going to stand feet just outside of hip width, and we're going to come down into a squat. So my forearms are going to rest on my quads, and hands are going to be here. From here, what we're going to do is, keeping the forearms on the quads throughout, we're going to try to straighten the legs, and I'm going to try to look in between my legs. So I want to try to feel that stretch all through the back of my legs. So we're going to go up and down about 15 to 20 times. I call that one bottoms up. Second one we're going to do is really try to get some length in through the lateral aspect of our body. So when we come back, we can lengthen back through here. So we're going to go arm up overhead, reach and grab, and side bend to the left first. When I do this, what I want to do is I'm going to count breaths. So I'm going to try to take 5 deep breaths in, really feeling that stretch here. So it's in and out. Every exhale, try to go a little bit further. And we'll do that about 5 times on each side. So coming over, in and out. Now we're going to grab a golf club. So whatever size club you want, we're going to reach on club head and the end of the shaft. And so I'm going to try to actively push my hands together. So I'm trying to collapse the club in. So I'm going to push in, get into my golf stance, and I'm going to go through a rotation. So even at the end range, I'm still trying to push my hands together. And then you want to make sure that at the end range, you pause and hold. These holds are going to help really engage the muscles at end range so that you can gain more range of motion. Again, with this, you want to do that about 5 to 10 times on each side with about a 3-second hold at end range. Next, we're going to do same movement with the hands. We're going to have the hands crushing the club. So trying to squeeze the club in, and I'm just going to come up overhead and then try to get some extension from my upper part of my back. So trying to get this back bend so I'm not rounded forward in my setup. I want to really engage those muscles to get back. So we're coming here, squeeze the shoulders together, and then relax. Up, squeeze, and relax. Up, squeeze, and relax. Again, about 10 times, holding about 3 seconds there. Next, we're going to grab our loop bands. So I have 2. You can use either 1 or 2. I like to have 2 on because it really helps increase some of the resistance at the hips. But we're going to go with 2 bands. Ideally, one is a little bit heavier than another. So the heavier band comes above the knees. The lighter band goes below the knees. So this, we're going to start warming up some of the muscles of the hip. So we're going to come into kind of an athletic stance, so a partial squat, knees slightly bent, hips shifted back. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on our hip internal and external rotation. So with my right leg first, I'm going to drop in and out. So throughout this movement, if you watch my foot, I want to try to keep my big toe down on the ground, okay? I don't want to turn my whole body. You really want to move that or get that motion from the hip. So in and out. This you should feel right in the hip. We're going to do about 20 of these on each side. So right knee in and out, left knee in and out. Then we're just going to warm up some of the glutes and quads. So we're going to do a half squat or down to a 3/4 to a full squat and back up. So we're down, make sure that the hips shift back. We're not squatting with our knees coming too far forward. We want to get those hips involved. So hips shift back and back up. 15 to 20 of those. Then we're going to keep the feet parallel like we're walking on a railroad track. And we're going to take some steps forward and back. 3 times forward and back to start getting the glutes. Now we want to think of our golf swing. So when we come into our backswing, we really start to load into the legs, and we have to drive off to get this compressive force on the ball to really get some power. So what we want to do is, with the bands on, I'm going to take a step back with my left foot, so I'm going to work my right leg. So I'm here, I'm going to drop down slightly, and then explode up. So we're going to drop down slow, explode up. Slow, explode up, slow, and explode up. Same thing on the left. Right foot's back, drop down slow, explode up. So we're really training that loading of that leg and getting that ground force so that we can drive down on the ball. Nice and slow, and explode up. About 5 to 10 of those. Now we're going to grab our longer band. This one's a loop band. You can use just a regular TheraBand if that's all you have. But we're going to grab palms down. And I'm going to rotate out so I get that external rotation of my shoulder. Try to get that shoulder blade set. So again, grab palm down, rotate out, and we're going to pull apart and hold and back in. So this is going to be about 5 to 10 reps, holding 5 seconds at end range and end. Once we've done those, now we want to train that with rotation. So we're going to go palms down, turn up, pull out. So I'm going to hold this position. I'm going to keep my hips still, and I'm going to rotate to the right and to the left. Now with my arms still, I'm going to turn my pelvis to the right and pelvis to the left, trying to keep my upper body still, side to side. About 10 of those to each direction, and that'll be your 10-minute golf warm-up presented by Laws of Motion.